Okay, let's just jump right in. We're going to talk about something that affects pretty much every single person with an insurance policy, but honestly, very few of us really get it. We're talking about endorsements. And why are they such a big deal? Well, because your life is always changing, right? And if your insurance policy isn't keeping up, you could be facing a huge financial risk and not even know it.
And this right here is the heart of the problem. It's the trap so many of us fall into. You buy a policy, you file it away somewhere, and you just assume, yep, I'm covered. But that policy is just a snapshot of a single moment in time. Believing that it's static, that it never needs to change, well, that's one of the most dangerous assumptions you can make.
Exactly. I mean, think about it. You get a new car, you finally do that big kitchen renovation, you add a brand new teenage driver to the family. What happens then? When all these real-life things happen, they create a gap between what your policy says it covers and what your life actually looks like now. And that gap? That's where claims go to die.
Well, the good news is there's a tool specifically designed to close that gap. It's called an endorsement. And honestly, the best way to think about it is like this. An endorsement is basically a software update for your insurance policy. It's what keeps your coverage current, secure, and perfectly synced up with your life today. So let's get really specific. What is it? Technically, an insurance endorsement is a formal, legally binding change to your policy. Now, this isn't just some casual note your agent jots down in a file. Oh no, this is a modification that officially becomes part of your insurance contract. It carries the exact same legal weight as the original document you signed.
And its real power is in its flexibility. I mean, just think about all the things it can do. You can use it to add coverage for something brand new. Maybe you need earthquake insurance now. You can use it to remove coverage you don't need anymore, like for a car you sold. You can raise or lower your limits, change your deductibles, or do something as simple as updating your name or address. It's the one tool you have to truly tailor the policy to you.
Okay, so we know what an endorsement is. Now let's look at how this stuff actually works out in the real world. You know, generally speaking, endorsements really only move in two directions. They either add coverage to your policy or they restrict it.
And here's what that looks like in action. On one side, adding coverage means you're beefing up your protection. So you might add a special endorsement to cover your expensive camera equipment. Now, this is usually going to increase your premium a little because you're handing more risk over to the insurance company. Then, on the flip side, you can have a restrictive endorsement. This narrows your coverage, like say specifically excluding a high-risk driver from your auto policy. That often ends up lowering your premium.
So when do you actually need one? I mean, look at these incredibly common life events. Did you just buy a new car? You need an endorsement. Finish that big kitchen remodel that added a ton of value to your home? Oh, you absolutely need an endorsement to increase your coverage. Buy some expensive jewelry or art? Don't just assume it's covered by your standard policy. You almost certainly need a specific endorsement. Forgetting these things can leave you dangerously underinsured.
Now let's get right down to the bottom line. Because managing your endorsements isn't just about administrative paperwork, it has a direct, powerful, and immediate impact on whether your claim gets paid and how much you're paying for coverage.
So listen, this is the most crucial takeaway. When you file a claim, the insurance company looks at one thing and one thing only: the policy contract and all of its processed endorsements that were active on the exact date your loss occurred. They don't consider what you intended to do. They don't care what you thought was covered. They don't look at that email you forgot to send your agent. If the paperwork wasn't officially processed and on the policy, as far as they're concerned, the coverage does not exist, period.
I really want you to remember this line. This is the absolute truth of the entire insurance world. Your good intentions to update your policy mean nothing in the face of a claim. It's the documented, finalized endorsements that matter. And this is exactly why being proactive about this stuff is completely non-negotiable.
Okay, so how do you make sure you're protected? How do you avoid these pitfalls? Well, it's not actually that complicated, but it does require you to be a little organized and proactive. So let's just walk through a simple, foolproof action plan.
Here it is. Just follow these 5 steps every single time you need to make a change. 1. Always request changes in writing. An email is perfect because it creates a paper trail. 2. Ask for and confirm the exact date the change takes effect. 3. When you get the official endorsement document, please actually read it. Make sure it matches what you asked for. 4. Check your next bill to see the premium change. And 5. Save a copy of that confirmation. Put it in a folder. This simple checklist ensures nothing falls through the cracks.
All right, we've covered a lot of ground. What an endorsement is, why it matters, and how to manage it. So let's distill all of this down to one final powerful idea to leave you with.
This is the perfect way to think about it. You know, we so often think of insurance in terms of its limits and exclusions, all the things it won't do. But endorsements are the complete opposite. They are the tools that give you, the policyholder, the power and the flexibility to shape your policy to match the real contours of your changing life. Your policy doesn't have to be static. Using endorsements correctly is how you stay in control.